decomposition reaction. So we have already studied about combination reaction. In combination reactions, the reactant is 2 and the product will be 1. So in decomposition reaction, there is only one reactant and the product will be 2 or more. 2 or more product will be there. Then it is called a decomposition reaction. For example, Fe2SO4. Fe2SO4 is called a ferrous sulfate. Fe2SO4 react with heat to form Fe2O3. Fe2O3 plus SO2 plus SO3. Okay, Fe2SO4 is called a ferrous sulfate. Ferrous sulfate react with heat to form ferric oxide. Fe2O3 ferric oxide, SO2 sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. These two are the gases. So here the reactant is 1 and the product is more than 2. Then it is a decomposition reaction. And the second one is, we know that CaCO3. CaCO3 is called calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is also react with the help of heat to form calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. CaCO3 is called limestone. Limestone react with heat to produce calcium oxide. Calcium oxide is called quicklime. Quicklime and carbon dioxide gas. So here the reactant is 1 and the product is 2, hence it is also a decomposition reaction. In these two reactions, the reaction is carried with the help of heat or temperature. Hence it is called thermal decomposition reaction. Thermal decomposition. Here the reactant, the reaction is carried with the help of heat. This is called a thermal decomposition reaction. Another important example for this decomposition reaction is PbNO3 twice. PbNO3. PbNO3 is called lead nitrate. Lead nitrate react with heat to produce PbO, lead oxide plus NO2, nitrogen dioxide plus O2, oxygen gas. So PbNO3 react with heat. This is also thermal decomposition. PbO plus NO2 plus O2. So this is also thermal decomposition. In this reaction, the reactant is 1 and the product is more than 2. So nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide is a gas which has a color of brown fumes. This is important, which has a color of brown fumes. So what is the color of nitrogen dioxide? Nitrogen dioxide is of the color of brown color fumes. Okay, so this is about decomposition and also of thermal decomposition reaction. Displacement reaction. Displacement reaction means one element can be displaced by another. In a reaction, one element can be displaced by another element, then it is called a displacement reaction. Here, for example, CaSO4. CaSO4 is called a calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate react with Fe. Fe means iron. Calcium sulfate react with iron to form FeSO4. FeSO4 plus Ca. FeSO4 plus Ca. Okay, here the calcium can be displaced by the element Fe. Here one element is displaced by another element, then it is called a displacement reaction. Okay, for other example, Zn. Zn plus H2SO4. Zn is called a zinc. Zinc plus sulfuric acid gives zinc sulfate. ZnSO4 plus H2 hydrogen gas. Here the H2 can be replaced. H2 is replaced by zinc sulfate. One element is replaced by another element. Then it is called a displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. Double displacement. A reaction in which there is exchange of ions. Exchange of ions, that is, two elements are displaced by another element. In which two elements are displaced, then it is called a double displacement reaction. For example, FeSO4 plus HCl gives H2SO4 plus FeCl. Here Fe and hydrogen are displaced by H and Fe. Here Fe is displaced by H and hydrogen is displaced by Fe. Here the two ions are displaced by another ions. Hence it is called a double displacement reaction. This is an important reaction. Double displacement, exchange of ions is called a double displacement reaction. Precipitate. What do you mean by precipitate? Precipitate is the insoluble substance. Insoluble substance present in the reaction. Formed after the reaction. The last product, that is the last product will be insoluble. Insoluble means which cannot be soluble in water. That is the insoluble substance formed in a reaction is called a precipitate, and that reaction is called a precipitation reaction. Precipitation reaction. Okay, so that is about precipitate. Then the last reaction is reduction, oxidation. Reduction and oxidation. Reduction means reducing of oxygen. In a reaction there is reducing of oxygen. Reducing of oxygen is called a reduction. In a reaction there is gain of oxygen is called a oxidation. Okay. Suppose for example, H plus O2 gives H2O. H plus O2 gives H2O. Here hydrogen and oxygen combine to form water. So hydrogen gain an oxygen atom. Hence it is called a oxidation. Gaining of oxygen is called a oxidation. Suppose for example, CO2. CO2 gives C plus oxygen. CO2 is divided into carbon and oxygen. Here the carbon dioxide, here the loss of oxygen. Carbon has to lose the oxygen from CO2. Hence it is called a reduction. Already carbon dioxide have oxygen atoms, but after reaction the oxygen atom will be reduced. Hence it is called a reduction. If the two reactions takes place in single reaction, single equation, if the two reaction, that means the oxidation and reduction takes place in a single substance, hence it is called a redox reaction. Hence it is called a redox reaction. So redox reaction means the two reactions, that is oxidation and reductions, are combined to called a redox reaction. Okay.